injury. Lacy insists he's put Calzaghe out of his mind and has complete focus on Scott Pemberton. So tonight, after 11 years as a pro, Scott Pemberton, a former gunner in the Army 82nd Airborne, is finally getting his shot. No pun intended. A live underdog who has paid his dues. He did stop tough, durable Omar Shika, something Lacy couldn't do. One of those guys with no quit. The general consensus, he may not make it easy for Jeff Lacy, but it will be very tough to win, given the many obstacles to overcome.
Yeah, he's got a couple. He's coming in off a one-year layoff, hasn't fought in a year, 7 years older than Lacy. And he spent only a week here, Steve, at altitude in Lake Tahoe, as opposed to Lacy, who was here for a full month. And even he acknowledges he's not sure if that's going to be an issue for him, Scott Pemberton. But, you know, even if it sounds really corny, I have to say, the one thing he's got going for him is he believes in himself, and he thinks that's enough to help him defy the odds tonight.
We'll see. From what we've observed also, the awe of the moment could be a factor. He's a very emotional guy, fights with passion. I asked him if he saw himself as a real-life Rocky. His eyes immediately welled up with tears. He said, you know, this is crazy. I just watched one of the Rocky movies where Rocky was fighting for his kids' well-being, and Scott said, I so related to that because I'm fighting for my little girl who's changed my life. He really got choked up. His devoted fiancée, Peggy, after an 11-year relationship, Scott proposed to her in the dressing room on national TV prior to the first Omar Shika fight. He was so nervous, he got down on one knee, and instead of saying, this is the most important night of my life, he said, it's the most important fight of my life. Peggy said, yes anyway, Al.
Hey, she said yes, that's the most important thing.
That's all that counts. So Scott Pemberton is ready for the biggest fight of his career tonight against Jeff Left Hook Lacy for the IBF Super Middleweight Championship. Off his career best win, he'll hear it from the crowd. The champion, Jeff Left Hook Lacy. We've watched him mature as a fighter and as a person. Hard to forget that first encounter when he took off his shirt at the weigh-in and his opponent bolted on the first bus home. Fight called due to Lacy's physique. Well, today he's on the cover of the prestigious Ring magazine. Now he's come a long way in just 4.5 years as a pro.
Boy, has he ever, and we've seen it here on Showtime. You know, he, like most of us, thought we'd be in London tonight with him fighting Joe Calzaghe, and he'd be walking into that ring for what would be, so far anyway, his defining match of his career. Now, he says he's not let down, and his focus is definitely here tonight on Scott Pemberton. But, Steve, we have to say the names Calzaghe and Tarver have been mentioned as much the last week as Pemberton's has been. So we'll see if Jeff Lacy is in the moment right here in Lake Tahoe.
Blowing kisses to the crowd. Very grounded young man. You won't see the big entourage with Jeff. Loves to fight, loves to please the fans. No, this is not what he had in mind for tonight in terms of Calzaghe. Nevertheless, he will look to put on a good show. Nice crowd on hand here at Caesars Tahoe Circus Maximus to see Jeff Left Hook Lacy, who just seems to get better with every fight. But you're right, Al, we shall see tonight if his head is in the right place. Set for the numbers. Let's size them up as we check out the tail of the tape. The champion Lacy has the youth by a decade. Pemberton turns 39 in January, but the rangy Scott Pemberton with the 4.5-inch height advantage, the 4-inch edge in reach, and at yesterday's weigh-in, both came in right on at 168. Notable rules for this world title fight: no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of the 4th, it's a no decision. If it happens after the end of round 4, they'll go to the scorecards. So here at Caesars Tahoe, we are getting ready for our main event. Jeff Lacy versus Scott Pemberton for the IBF Super Middleweight Championship. The official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to Caesars Tahoe here in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, as it's time for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions in association with CES, Caesars Tahoe, and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the IBF, President Marion Muhammad, Supervisor David McCullough, the IBO, President Ed Levine, Supervisor Frank Brunette, and the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The Chairman is Skip Avancino, Commissioners Dr. Tony Alamo, John Bailey, Joe W. Brown, and T.J. Day, with the Executive Director, Mark Ratner. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Stephen Brown, Dr. Damon Savala, Dr. Van Buren Lemons, and Dr. Rodney Corson. And our timekeeper at the bell is Jim Carpenter, keeping count of the knockdowns, Rose Fain. Introducing to you our three judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Miami, Florida, Rick Bays. From Carson City, Nevada, Keith McDonald. And from Gardnerville, Nevada, Doug Tucker. Introducing our third man of the ring, the referee in charge of this bout. He is working in this his 21st world title bout, Vic Draculich. All right, fans, here we go with the main of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF and the IBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Lake Tahoe, Nevada, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, the challenger, fighting on my right out of the blue corner. He is wearing maroon trunks, fighting out of New Bedford, Massachusetts. He weighed in at the super middleweight limit of 168 pounds. His hard-hitting record stands at 29 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, with 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the NABF Super Middleweight Champion, currently ranked the IBF number 5 world contender. Please welcome the challenger, known as the Sandman, introducing Scott Pemberton. And his opponent across the ring on my left, the defending world champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing orange trunks with black trim, proudly representing his home of St. Petersburg, Florida. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 168 pounds, a U.S. Olympian, undefeated in his campaign in the professional ranks, with a record of 20 wins, no losses, 1 no decision, with 16 wins, coming by way of knockout. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is making the 4th defense of his title. Here is the undefeated IBF and IBO Super Middleweight Champion of the world, introducing Jeff Left Hook Lacy. 12 rounds of boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, a referee in charge, Vic Draculich, now to give instructions.
All right, gentlemen, this is for both the IBO and the IBF Super Middleweight titles. You've received your instructions in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution you. Any punch below this point is going to be called low. Any punch below this point are going to be called low. With that said, I want you to obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Touch the button now. Good luck to both of you.
In 50 total fights, Lacy and Pemberton have combined for 45 knockouts. We could go out in a blaze here in our final bout of 2005. The muscular left hook Lacy, IBF and IBO champ. We wonder, where is it all headed for this gifted champion? Tall, durable Scott Pemberton, turned pro at 28, makes up for a questionable chin with a heart the size of his beloved New England. You will not meet two more personable people in the sport of boxing.
Absolutely not. In round one, so important. Scott Pemberton has to make sure that the moment doesn't get to him, and he also has to make sure that he at least begins fighting this tactical fight that he and his new trainer, John Scully, want him to.
Both are historically slow starters. As Pemberton, and everybody knows who follows Lacy, while he's got the catchy nickname of left hook, the right, as you pointed out in the keys, equally if not more dangerous.
And he is wailing away. We said Rafael Marquez was a slow starter. Look what he did. And in this fight, we're already off to a quick start. Lacy with the overhand right. He's obviously decided that's the punch du jour for him in this fight.
You may have seen a recognizable face with Jeff Lacy, accompanied by his buddy and stablemate Winky Wright, the junior middleweight champ.
Scott Pemberton is poised. I'm going to tell you right now, he knows what he's doing in there. He's used the jab a lot. When Lacy got on the inside in the ropes, he held on immediately. Scott Pemberton has his wits about him. That doesn't mean he's going to be able to box and be a tactical fighter for 12 rounds, but at least he understands it, and he's starting out in that vein. 24 of Pemberton's 29 wins by KO, but he's been KO'd 3 times. The most recent, big right over the top by Lacy. The most recent by Charles Brewer 3 years ago. 5-0 since. Can he avoid Lacy's power? Will he raise the level of his game? Can he expose any of Lacy's weaknesses? Well, some say there's nothing more dangerous than an underdog. We'll soon find out. Now, there was a jab and a straight right hand by Pemberton. He can at least get those punches in, but we've seen other people do that to Lacy. We saw Ruben Williams land countless jabs and straight right hands, and early in the fight, but Lacy just walked through them eventually.
The prevailing opinion, Lacy just too strong for Pemberton, and will have his way. Here's Pemberton dishing out, but the punches having no effect on Lacy, who chases Scott around.
Break, let's go.
Jeff Lacy is a powerful puncher who is very hard to hurt, and that's a combination, especially in the 168-pound division. Scott Pemberton is fighting as good a first round as he would have drawn up, and yet he's still getting whacked by big punches by Jeff Lacy.
Lacy throwing the jab, which looked very impressive in the win over Robin Reed, the best it has looked. The first 2000 U.S. Olympian to win a world title.
Now, early in this fight, Lacy's being out-jabbed by Pemberton. He's not using that punch quite as much as he would want, I think, and I'm sure they'll tell him to do that. Dan Birmingham will.
And Pemberton doing the right thing in the first round, fighting from the outside, using his range, and every once in a while sticking the right.
Jeff, he's not doing nothing backing up. Stay right with him. When he backs up, then attack. He's backing up, getting set, and punching. As soon as you see him backpedal, attack. Don't let him get set. Boxing beautiful. Great blocking. So you know this guy ain't got nothing for you. Nothing. Breathe. Get your win.
Move, relax. You don't need to move real fast. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. All right? He'll meet you. You'll meet him with the jab. You're hitting him with a lot of jab. You gotta stay with the jab. That's your key. Deep breath. Deep breath. Take a breath. Suck it up.
How you feel, brother?
Hey, you're in there.
Listen,
you're right
you know
in the
he's going to take them big swings, you know, so
That's
be ready. Don't stick your head up in the air for that, okay?
Deep breath. Come on. Stay there. Stay there.
Former light heavyweight John Scully, who got under the skin of Jeff Lacy at the press conference, didn't he? By saying that Lacy's power was overrated. Well, Lacy said, I'll make a believer out of Scully by taking it out on Pemberton. Round 2 scheduled for 12. Lacy in the Halloween orange and black. And what better ref to have in post-Halloween than Dracula? The Sandman with a combination to the head.
Watch the hold. Go.
Lacy protecting his head just in case. Nice jab by Pemberton. Pemberton, to his credit, doing the right thing. Not sure he's winning, but he's doing the right thing. There's that long right hand, but nothing on it.
Now, Scott Pemberton has to make sure he doesn't reach with that right hand, but he's using the jab to set up the right.
There's the jab, doubling up, but he held back on the right in that instance. Lacy very patient. Lacy likes it messy on the inside. He wants to lure you into that brawl.
And that's where Pemberton did. Now, he should have thrown those punches and wheeled off the ropes, which he ultimately did, but not until he took some shots.
Pemberton hanging in there.
This is a quintessential Jeff Lacy fight. What tremendous double left hooks.
Here it is, the diversified attack. Pemberton's down. Not the first time.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Well, he gets up at 8. He took all the time he needed. He looked winded.
That is, he has been down in round 2, of course, 3 times before against Shaker twice and against Charles Brewer. He always seems to go down in round 2 of major fights, but will he stay up for this one?
I don't know what it is about round 2, but now Pemberton showing signs of difficulty. And Lacy's trying to finish it right here, and he is a very strong finisher. Pemberton's just waiting. Now he just hangs on 24 seconds to survive in round 2 for Pemberton.
Up the head, stay up the head, let's go.
Pemberton able to stick a right there. Here's a big left hand to the head by Lacy. Oh, what a crushing right. And it's all over. Not even a count from Vic Draculis. It's over. And Pemberton's down and out. A second-round knockout for Jeff left hook Lacy. What a massive right hand at the end.
Well, as Pemberton, they deal with him, we'll hear what he says.
Jeff Lacy making quick work of Pemberton.
You took a lot of shots, okay?
Sit down.
Well, the true warrior that he is, he doesn't want to stay seated.
And you know,
Very mad at himself.
Vic Draculis didn't take a moment to see if there was a chance he could get up, but very doubtful that he would have gotten up. And this man, Jeff Lacy, reveling in what for him is a great moment. It's not the moment he thought he would have tonight in London, England against Joe Calzaghe, but he showed us a great, great performance.
I have no argument with Draculis. Obviously, Pemberton does. You can tell by, obviously, his reaction, very upset at the referee for stopping the fight without even getting into a count. But that was a crushing blow. First the left, then the right by Lacy.
Couldn't have been better. Couldn't have been better, Jeff.
The right hand drop, you said.
Yeah, the big right.
Hold up, I gotta hold my man.
Dan Birmingham, the trainer of the year, telling Jeff Lacy, you couldn't have been better.
Nobody takes that. Nobody.
So as expected, Jeff Lacy doing it again, his 4th successful defense of the title. Remains undefeated, 21-0, 17 knockouts. So where does he turn next? A showdown with Calzaghe remains in limbo. Perhaps by early next year they'll do it. You mentioned the possibility of moving up to fight Antonio. So it was bombs away for Jeff left hook Lacy, a diversified and controlled attack, as you like to put it. Now some words being exchanged. Thank God that Scott Pemberton able to get up and he's okay. And there are the 2 belts, IBF, IBO. Another impressive, fast performance by Jeff Lacy. He put him down in the second and then ended it later on in the round. And Vic Draculich had seen enough. Let's go up to the ring right now for post-fight reaction from our Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Jeff, congratulations. How about that?
Oh, it was great. I said, like it was saying, this fight between me and Scott Pemberton, he was being ducked, I was being ducked. It was only good that he got his first shot at the world title, and I was happy to give it to you. It's a pleasure.
First of all, Scott, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I got to continue, but I understand what happened to Levain DeJohns and stuff. Everyone's looking out for the best interest of the fighter, and, you know, I can accept that.
All right, let's take a look here at the first knockdown, Scott, and let's get a reaction by you as to what happened here, and we'll also see your fiance. Tell us what's happening.
Well, I was just he was throwing punches. Oh, he had a good looping right hand. He's got a lot of power, you know, when you're inside with him. I shouldn't have been inside like that, but, you know, you make mistakes.
Not easy, of course, for...
No, my fiance. She's beautiful, huh?
And then the second knockdown right here, this big overhand right. Scott, did you see it coming?
No. Well, I did see it coming. That's why it didn't knock me out like cold. You know what I'm saying? I was bringing my hand. I had my hands a little low.
There was the left. Here it comes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He just caught me. You know, and I kind of felt a little lifeless. That's probably why he saw give me a count, because I think I was okay. You know what I'm saying? I would have been okay before the count of 10 anyway. But he definitely rocked me.
Well, Vic did the right thing there, and we're all glad you're okay.
He's a great champion, you know. I mean, you know, he's an Olympian, undefeated. You know what I'm saying? What can I say? I just appreciate he gave me the opportunity to fight for the world championship, man. There's not too many people that get that opportunity, and I did. And I thank Jeff Lacy for that, and Gary Shaw, and everybody affiliated, and CES, and everybody. And I just like to say hi to my mother and my mother-in-law.
All right, Scott. We got to get to the winner over here. Jeff, you're known for your left hook. Tell us about that looping overhand right there.
Well, I mean, everybody look for your overhand. I mean, everybody look for the left hook. So you got to go into the gym and work on something that's more devastating as my right hand. I got a terrific right hand. You know, I just don't use the left hook unless they taking the right hand.
Let's take another look at it, and you tell us now, if you would, Jeff, from your vantage point. Obviously, you were in full control of this fight.
Coming into this fight, I felt very strong. I mean, I knew if I got in close to Scott that I could unleash some of my big bombs, and that's what happened.
Well, everybody thought that you might be looking past this fight and that there was great disappointment coming in tonight because you had hoped to be overseas in the United Kingdom. Is there disappointment, and how do you feel about not having the opportunity to fight Calzaghe?
You know what? The more disappointment is that we're not able to see on this night who is the best super middleweight champion of the world is. The second is, you know, we never know if Calzaghe going to step up or anybody's going to step up in the super middleweight division. And the time will tell. My 2006 year, I'm looking for big names.
Why do you think he won't fight you? Why do you think that you were on the brink and then he says he got hurt?
Well, he says he got hurt, but, you know, it's still, the contract was over before he took the fight. And on top of that, it was 2 months out when I had to take the fight with Robin Rigo. They was going to strip me from my title. I'm in the business to keep these titles. I mean, that's what we fight for, right? I mean, I'm not going to want the type of fighter that's going to drop a belt in the garbage and go fight a bigger money fight. I want to fight the fans who the fans want to see me fight.
What will you do on your end to ensure that this fight comes off?
Well, the only thing I can do is stay consistent with being on Showtime and staying in the public's eye. I mean, I need to get as much experience as I can. I'm a young world titleist.
And in the event that it doesn't come off against Calzaghe, would you move up and maybe Antonio Tarver?
Well, of course, that's who I want. I want Antonio Tarver. Calzaghe, if Calzaghe don't step up, I would love to fight Antonio Tarver. Are there any excuses between the two?
You're stealing his line. That was probably the best line ever when he said that to Roy Jones. So you're asking both of them, huh?